Well, hello again, everybody. Don Williams, Nick Cosmiter from the Avalanche-Journal and RedRaiders.com, back with you for another look at Texas Tech football. And Nick, it's nearly game week. It's time.
It's almost there.
So we'll throw some predictions at folks. We've watched this team practice every day for the last 3 weeks. 2012 season is upon us. A simple question: how are the Red Raiders going to do this year? What do you think a final record's going to be?
Well, is it such a simple question, Don? I don't know.
It's not. I actually think it's a pretty complicated question.
It is. I mean, I think Tech is it's going to be a hard team to figure, and truthfully, I don't think we're really going to have a great idea of what this team is going to look like until the end of September when they go to Ames and kind of get their first taste of Big 12 action. With that said, I think it's easy to see that the offense, which was already very good last year, has even more weapons this season. Has a lot of deep, talented receivers that they've added, redshirt freshmen coming in, junior college transfers coming in, and then you have a stable of healthy running backs that if you can keep them that way, that running game, instead of only being half the year strong, should be strong the whole year. With that said, the big question is obviously the defense, and we've seen some encouraging signs even from the start of fall camp with the defense just seemingly getting after the quarterback a little bit more. The pass rush has increased. We're starting to see some plays being made in the secondary, which was just something that was sorely absent last year from a defense that ranked 114th in the country. With that said, my prediction for Texas Tech this year, I think the Red Raiders will finish the regular season 7-5. That will include a couple big wins during the regular season over some talented teams. I also think
anyone in particular?
I think they're going to go down and beat TCU. I think that's going to be a game that the Red Raiders are going to be very excited for, and I think that's a situation where we could see a rivalry start right there. Two teams that are close in proximity fight over the same recruiting turf, and I think that's going to be a really good game. And maybe you start that rivalry off with a big bang, a kind of a down to the wire finish. So I think they'll finish 7-5 with a win over Baylor, and that should get them, maybe somewhere around the Holiday Bowl or a bowl like that, and maybe go in there and beat a Pac-12 team and finish 8-5, which would give the Red Raiders a lot of momentum going forward.
How about you, Don? Holiday Bowl, San Diego in December?
I can
go for that. I hope you're right. I can go for that.
Bring your sunscreen.
Of course, okay, I'm the old guy here. I'm a little more cynical, and you're right. There are a whole bunch of new players here who bring some things to the table. I'm excited. I think Javon Bell's going to be a really good receiver for this team. I'm interested to see if Will Smith can make as big an impact as what everybody's kind of cautiously optimistic that he can. I know right at the end of camp, Tommy Tuberville said he was really, really happy with where the defense was in terms of guys getting lined up right and knowing what to do. They're ahead of last year, and he said better 10 days out than he thought that they would be. There's still, though, just so many questions to me about this team. The defense, while everybody, I do think that they will be better, and I think Art Kaufman will be a lot better for these guys than Chad Glasgow was. It's still hard to say it's going to happen until you actually see it on game day, as opposed to in practice out there where scrimmages are very limited time.
It's sort of a prove it to me type of deal.
We're still seeing how well this team tackles and gang tackles and all those sorts of things. And then offensively, some concern about how this team executed in August. And I know there's a lot of shuffling, a lot of guys going in and out. It's not quite as set a rotation as we will see this coming week. But I think there's a little bit of a question there. And then also, you kind of have to knock on wood about Eric Stevens, DeAndre Washington. Neil Brown says, these guys are going to play. They're not considering redshirting them anymore. But how well will they hold up week after week after week, particularly once you get into the grind of Big 12 play? Now, I do think there's a real compelling other option that doesn't get talked about a whole lot, and that's Kenny Williams, who I think is kind of underrated, maybe undervalued by some Texas Tech fans. I think he's a guy who has a lot of upside, a lot of potential. And if Stevens and Washington either have a setback as they come back, I think he's a guy who could take over and be an 18, 20 carry a game guy. Bottom line, until I see it for sure on the field, I think it's about a 500 team, 6-6, make a bowl game, win a bowl game, and finish the year 7-6. But whole bunch still to unfold between now and December.
Yeah, and they don't play the games here in the studio. We're gonna have to wait and see them out on the field, and we get to do that here 1 week from Saturday with the opening kickoff against Northwestern State at 6 p.m. on September 1st. Until then, keep it locked right here to RedRaiders.com and LubbockOnline.com for plenty more. I'm Nick Kosmeter along with Don Williams. Have a great day.